Yin Tong could hardly believe his own ears. After a brief moment of stunned silence, he suddenly turned and yelled, "Yin Liang, go and send a message to our chief, Yin Feng. Evacuate all of the children, women, and elderly. Everyone else, prepare for battle." There were 7 or 8 Menace Lion tribe elders, ranging from the late True Immortal stage and the early Golden Immortal stage on the altar, and all of them immediately sprang into action. Below the giant rock on the riverbed, Han Li could clearly sense the gold-devouring Immortal's enormous aura rapidly approaching them, and through its aura he could even sense that it was currently extremely furious. "What did you do, Jin Tong?" "I can sense that its aura is very unstable, like it's extremely angry about something," Han Li asked. "All I did was ask it how it feels to be able to see me but not eat me." Jin Tong replied with a smile. "You can communicate directly with it?" Han Li asked with a stunned expression. "I can only sense it from far away, but now that we're so close, it's kind of like we can communicate through voice transmission. I don't know exactly how to explain it. It's like we're connected by an invisible thread, and neither one is able to shake off the other." Jin Tong replied with a shrug. Han Li wanted to ask more questions, but before he had a chance to do so, a deafening boom rang out in the distance, immediately following which a burst of tremendous shock waves swept through the valley, causing the entire river to rear up like a reverse waterfall. At the same time, the arched stone bridge exploded down the middle, and the Menace Lion beings standing on the remnants of the bridge were all looking on with furious expressions. These were all of the warriors of the Menace Lion tribe that hadn't been sent to participate in the battle at the Dark Star Canyon, and weren't assigned with the task of evacuating the women, children, and elderly. And there were only around 4,000 to 5,000 of them. Yin Shen rose up into the sky above the ruined stone bridge, then asked in a scathing voice, "Why is an almighty insect spirit like yourself attacking our Menace Lion tribe instead of facing our beast race army?" The enormous gold-devouring Immortal was hovering in mid-air tens of thousands of feet away, and its flapping wings were producing a deafening noise. It paid no heed to Yin Shen as it scoured the valley back and forth with a pair of cold and furious eyes, then suddenly roared, "Come out!" Its voice was like rumbling thunder as it echoed throughout the valley, producing such powerful sound waves that the remnants of the stone bridge quickly fell away chunk by chunk. Yin Shen was only just barely able to steady himself, and a perplexed look appeared on his face as he asked, "Who are you looking for?" However, the gold-devouring Immortal continued to ignore him as it crashed down toward the entrance of the valley like a golden mountain. "Warriors of the Menace Lion tribe, it's time to fight," Yin Tong declared. However, the gold-devouring Immortal completely ignored all of the Menace Lion tribe warriors as it continued to crash down toward the entrance of the valley with tremendous power. All of the Menace Lion tribe warriors hurriedly rose up into the air before retreating into the valley, and at the same time, several hundred enormous griffin-like demon beasts rose up within the valley tens of thousands of feet away, then opened their beaks before producing a strange sound akin to the weeping of infants. In doing so, they were releasing bursts of peculiar sound waves that were further enhanced as they traveled through the horn-shaped valley, becoming progressively more formidable as they surged toward the gold-devouring Immortal. Even though Han Li and Jin Tong weren't within the area that the sound waves were traveling through, he was still struck by a burst of sharp pain in his head, following which came a rush of dizziness and nausea. He hurriedly swept a sleeve through the air to conjure up a spherical light barrier that encompassed both himself and Jin Tong, and only then did the sense of discomfort subside. The rest of the valley was quite wide and spacious, but it abruptly tapered to an extremely narrow area at the entrance of the valley. After being enhanced by the tapered terrain of the valley, the sound waves had become countless times more powerful than before, and the gold-devouring Immortal rushed headfirst into them as it swooped into the valley. Waves upon waves of invisible sound waves exploded violently, and it was as if something invisible were shattering into countless pieces, sending shrapnel flying in all directions. The gold-devouring Immortal was instantly rooted to the spot, while its previously lucid eyes became glazed over, and it was as if its spiritual sense had been destroyed by these sound waves. "Looks like the Menace Lion tribe has some impressive tricks up its sleeve, Uncle. I can sense that its soul has been severely wounded, and it'll most likely be in this disoriented state for quite some time. Should we take advantage of this opportunity to kill it?" Jintong asked as her eyes lit up with excitement. Han Li was silent for a moment upon hearing this, then analysed. "These shockwaves can indeed harm the soul, but I feel like they're more so intended for physical damage. While it's true that even I was affected, even if I had been in the direct path of these sound waves, I would have only been disoriented for 3 seconds at most. With that in mind, does it really make sense that these sound waves could incapacitate it so completely?" "You're saying that it's putting on an act to try and lure us out?" Jintong asked with a stunned expression. "There's no need for us to speculate. Someone else will find out for us," Han Li replied. Sure enough, in the valley above, Yintong was observing the gold-devouring Immortal with a hesitant expression, but ultimately he gritted his teeth and ordered, "Attack!" In the sky above the valley's entrance, an elder immediately sliced open his own hand, shedding his blood onto his staff while chanting an incantation in the language of the true spirits. As he began his incantation, an extremely strange aura arose within the entire valley, and a layer of crimson mist emerged, enshrouding the entirety of the valley within it. Within the crimson mist, the eyes of all of the Menace Lion tribe warriors also turned a crimson color, while dark red light began to glow from their cheeks as a lion-like demon beast totem appeared on each of their faces. With the emergence of these totems, the Menace Lion tribe warriors underwent drastic transformations, swelling to several 100 feet tall. At the same time, the lion heads around their faces disappeared, and their humanoid faces turned into lion faces. Immediately thereafter, all of the Menace Lion tribe warriors sprang up into the sky to surround the gold-devouring Immortal before attacking it all at once. Even though they had swelled drastically in size, they were still downright diminutive in comparison with the gold-devouring Immortal, and all of them began tearing at the gold-devouring Immortal's body with their sharp claws. A string of loud clangs rang out incessantly, but the gold-devouring Immortal remained completely unscathed. "We have to find the weak points on its body," Yintong yelled as he charged toward the gold-devouring Immortal's eyes. Meanwhile, all of the other Menace Lion tribe warriors charged toward the gold-devouring Immortal's joints, the bases of its wings, and other perceived weak points, led by the tribe's elders. As he approached the gold-devouring Immortal's right eye, the crimson totem on Yintong's face glowed even brighter, and bursts of formidable spiritual power fluctuations surged through his meridians, converging toward the claws on his right hand. His arm swelled drastically in size while glowing with radiant red light, looking rather cumbersome and disproportionate compared with the rest of his body. But the explosive power that it contained was certainly not to be scoffed at. "Let's see if you can keep pretending now." Even though Han Li was unable to see the battle from the riverbed, he could roughly guess what was happening based on the spiritual power fluctuations that he was sensing. Yintong was injecting all of his power into this single strike, and he was already right in front of the gold-devouring Immortal's eye. In fact, he was so close that his claws could be seen reflected within the eye that he was attacking. However, right at this moment, the disoriented look in the gold-devouring Immortal's eyes abruptly faded, and it turned its gaze to Yintong in a cold and completely lucid fashion. As soon as Yintong saw this, he immediately felt as if his entire body had been plunged into a glacial pit. But at this point, it was too late to turn back. All he could do was yell for everyone to retreat, while he continued to thrust his claws toward the gold-devouring Immortal's eye. A sharp clang rang out, and a flurry of sparks flew in all directions as a gash that was over 100 feet in length was scratched into the gold-devouring Immortal's closed eyelid, following which semi-transparent liquid that appeared to be blood began flowing out of the gash. The gold-devouring Immortal's eyelid shuddered momentarily before springing open again, and it swept its front limbs through the air like lightning. A series of crescent-shaped streaks of translucent golden light erupted forth, sweeping through the air in all directions like scythes designed to harvest lives. Aside from the several hundred Menace Lion tribe warriors who were able to retreat in time after hearing Yintong's warning, everyone else, including Yintong himself, had been sliced into two. The gold-devouring Immortal had clearly been truly infuriated, and it flapped its wings vigorously as its enormous body began to revolve rapidly on the spot, quickly transforming into an enormous golden storm that erupted through the air in all directions. All of the dismembered Menace Lion tribe warriors instantly had their bodies and nascent souls destroyed within the golden storm, and even their blood had been reduced to the tiniest of particles that rained down from above. The remaining Menace Lion tribe warriors fled back into the valley, and the only remaining elder looked up at the sky with an expression of fury and despair. The children, women, and elderly are still in the valley, so we cannot afford to retreat any further. The elder sighed. A determined look then appeared on his face as he roared with all his might. "I offer up my blood and my body to Master Ju Ling. Please descend upon us." Immediately thereafter he closed his eyes and plunged his staff right into his own heart.